This video is about instruction parts. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new instruction. Up here it says click for a new instruction line. I'm going to click there. It comes up with what we could call a test line, which just says no operation. Now we're going to make it into what we want it to be. And I want it to be branch if test equal. But before I click on that, I want you to notice that highlighted in red are all of the actions already used in this subprogram. And in particular, one highlighted in blue is the action we're actually on. Well, now I'm going to click my branch if text equal. When I select it, it says branch to label if text A2, that would be here, equal to text at A3, here is A3, for A1 characters, and here is A1, address 1. And it's asking us now how many characters. Well, it's set up the numeric field over here, so I could say 10 characters. Once I enter that, it moves on to the next field. And it says, well, it could be 10 characters plus the value in a register. So I could say, for instance, register A. But look here. Again, in red, it highlighted all registers already used by this subprogram. Highlighted in red. Now I'll select one. I could select A. It moves on to the next one here, but actually I don't want an A there, so I'm going to click back there and I'm going to say white out the A. So now it just says 10 characters, not 10 plus the value in register A. Well, now it says I need a page name for where the characters exist for A2. A2. So I'm going to say past. But again, notice that highlighted in red are pages that are already used by this subprogram. And I'm going to click on past. Now past comes up, and here are all the characters in past. It says here there are 512 characters in past. We are at offset 0. Well, there's not anything at 0. I want to test against Apple. So I'm going to come out here and click at the beginning of Apple. The text I want to test in this branch, if text equal, is Apple. So there is Apple. And now I end this, and it says passed at offset 59. Well, I could also add a register value to the 59, but I don't want to. I'm going to go to this page name. Now, if I would have answered this, and I could do that by hitting the white here, or I could say pass, or I could do as I did, I simply clicked on this one. Now is equal to what page name? Well, I'm going to say alpha. Now it's pointing at the beginning of alpha. At offset 0 is the word pair. Okay, I say, yep, that's what I want to compare it to. So I say exit there. So I say alpha at offset 0. Then it says, do you want to register? Well, I don't want a plus register. So I'm going to go to the to label. Well, I'm going to get a label. Now, again, highlighted in red are all the labels used in this subprogram. Are all highlighted in red. I'm going to use one that never was used before. I'm going to click on FA. Now it went to the beginning of the line to So you can tell it if you want this line to have a label. I'm going to say I want it to have the label AA. Now it went back to the beginning again. It's going to cycle around. As long as you answer questions, it'll go to the next part. Alright, so now I'm going to say I want to put this in my program. I can replace the line that's yellow highlighted. I can go below it. Or I could go above it. I'm going to select below it. So I clicked on below. Oh, but now I have some errors up here. It says there's a duplicate label AA. Oh, well, yes, I made an AA label and there already was one. Well, that's an error. It also says the label FA is missing. Nowhere in this subprogram is there an FA. Well, that's right. It told us that when I selected FA. But what I'm going to do to get rid of that is just to delete it. But I want you to notice that you no longer can execute this application. You no longer can save it. But watch, if I delete that line back again, highlight it in green, delete the green lines, errors went away, execute the application is back, and save the application is back. Now let's make another instruction. Now we could have just gone down here and selected a line underneath update and had a line put up here for us, and then we could change it. But what I'm going to do is get a line that has more things in it, so I'm going to go get branch if equal and make that my action. So now it's branch if equal. Then it says, okay, the first thing you could have is a register, a variable, or a list. Oh, see, here all of them are. All of these could contain a value. Here are all the 120 registers. Here are the 60 variable names. Down here are the work list names, followed by the app names, followed by the given names. Registers contain only one value. They cannot have offsets. That's why here when it says B, there's no area here for offset and plus register. The same would be true if I put a variable name in there, like the sign. It says, well, that has only one value. However, if I went down here to one of these lists, such as value, now it can have an offset and a plus register because value has 10,000 values. You can go look at all of them by using the position pole for value. Right now it's set at offset 0. While we're here, notice that there are some of them in red. Some of the values are highlighted in red. That means that somewhere in this subprogram, that offset is used. Therefore, the offset to that particular value. Now, we're at offset 0. Well, I'm going to come down here and click on the 10th one. And then when I enter it over here, what's going to come up here is the offset of 10. Not the value of 0 that's at 10, but the offset 10. So here I'll click on enter it, and there it puts the 10. Well, now the offset in value can also be plus a register. So I could go down here, and I'll click on R, that's a register. Now it'd be 10 offset plus the value of R. But I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to go back here and I'm going to white out the R. then it says is equal to what value? Well, again, that value could be in a register, could be in a variable name, could be in any one of the lists. And here again, we see highlighted in red all the registers used in this subprogram, the variables used, and the lists that are used. Well, we're going to pick another list. We'll say X value. Up comes all of these possible offsets in X value. We can select one. Here, 2 was selected. So it's offset 2. Plus, it could be offset by the value in a register. We'll say this is what we want. Offset 2, no plus register. Now we could click past, and it would go to the plus register. We click past again, and it go to the 2 label. And we could be nasty and say FA, which doesn't exist. So now we have an instruction, branch if equal, the value at offset 10 is equal to the value in X value at offset 2. If that is true, you go to FA. Now, I'm not really going to enter that in there, in this subprogram, because I know that FA doesn't exist, and it's just going to give me an error. So I'm going to say quit. I'm not entering this instruction. That is the video about instruction parts.